What if you woke up from a car crash with your memory shattered, only to learn you'd uncovered a family member's darkest secret just before the accident? In Blackout, one woman must piece together her past before the truth and the danger catch up to her. The first thing Emily remembered was the blinding white of the hospital ceiling. Her head throbbed, her mouth was dry, and her body ached in places she couldn't name. She tried to sit up, but a wave of dizziness forced her back down. A nurse appeared, gentle and efficient, explaining that Emily had been in a car accident. She'd suffered a concussion, a few broken ribs, and, most troubling, partial amnesia. Emily's mother, Susan, hovered at her bedside, her face etched with worry. "You're safe now," she whispered, squeezing Emily's hand. But Emily didn't feel safe. Her memories were a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing. She remembered her name, her job as a graphic designer, her favorite coffee shop. But the last week was a blank. The police came to ask questions, but Emily could only shake her head. She didn't remember the crash, or why she'd been driving on that deserted road late at night. As the days passed, Emily's body healed, but her mind remained foggy. She was haunted by flashes of something urgent, a sense of dread, a voice whispering, "You have to tell someone." But tell what? And about whom? Emily's family tiptoed around her, offering comfort but avoiding her questions. She sensed they were hiding something. And deep down, she knew the truth was more dangerous than anyone wanted to admit. Emily was released from the hospital with a folder of discharge papers and a prescription for painkillers. At home, she tried to settle back into her old life, but nothing felt right. Her apartment was tidy, but she found a suitcase half-packed on her bed. Her phone was full of missed calls and cryptic texts. "Did you find it? Call me ASAP. Don't trust him." She scrolled through her recent photos and found a blurry shot of a document, something official-looking, with a family member's name circled in red. But the image was too pixelated to read. Emily's best friend, Tara, visited with flowers and sympathy. "You were acting weird last week," Tara said. "You said you'd found something big. Something about your uncle?" Emily's uncle, Richard, was a respected businessman, a pillar of the community. She couldn't imagine him involved in anything criminal. But the more she tried to remember, the more anxious she became. She started having nightmares, flashes of a dark room, raised voices, the screech of tires. She woke up sweating, her heart racing. Determined to fill in the blanks, Emily began retracing her steps. She visited the coffee shop, the library, even the stretch of road where the accident happened. Each place triggered a flicker of memory, a smell, a sound, a sense of being watched. But the truth remained just out of reach. One afternoon, Emily found a notebook in her purse, its pages filled with frantic handwriting. The notes were hers, but the words felt foreign. "Richard, embezzlement? Offshore accounts?" Threatened me to stay quiet. There were names, dates, and a list of bank transactions. Emily's hands shook as she read. Had she really uncovered a crime? And if so, why couldn't she remember the details? She called Tara, who agreed to help her investigate. Together, they dug through Emily's emails and found a draft message addressed to a local journalist. "I have proof. Meet me tonight." The email was never sent. Emily's stomach twisted. Was she on her way to meet the journalist when she crashed? Emily's mother grew more anxious as Emily pressed for answers. "You're not well enough to be digging into this," Susan insisted. "Let it go." But Emily couldn't. She felt a growing sense of urgency, as if time was running out. That night, Emily received an anonymous text, "You're getting too close. Stop asking questions." The message sent a chill down her spine. Someone knew she was searching for the truth, and they wanted her to stop. Emily confronted her mother and uncle at a family dinner. The tension was palpable. "What aren't you telling me?" she demanded. Richard smiled, all charm and concern. "You've been through a lot, Em. Don't stress yourself." But Emily pressed on, showing them the notebook and the blurry photo. Susan's face went pale. Richard's eyes narrowed. "You're confused," he said. "You must have misunderstood something." Emily stormed out, her mind racing. Tara urged her to go to the police, but Emily hesitated. She needed more proof. She remembered a storage unit she'd rented the week before the accident. The key was still on her ring. The next morning, Emily and Tara visited the unit. Inside, they found a box of documents, bank statements, wire transfers, and a USB drive labeled insurance. Emily's heart pounded as she realized she'd been gathering evidence against her own uncle. As Emily and Tara reviewed the files, it became clear Richard had been laundering money through his business for years. The evidence was damning. Emily remembered flashes of a confrontation, Richard shouting, Susan crying, Emily threatening to go to the police. Suddenly, the storage unit's door slammed shut. Emily's phone buzzed with another anonymous text, "Last warning. Drop it, or you'll regret it." Tara called the police, who arrived minutes later. The officer warned Emily to be careful. If your uncle is involved in something criminal, he won't hesitate to protect himself. Emily's fear turned to determination. She backed up the files and sent copies to the journalist she'd contacted before the crash. She also gave a copy to the police, who opened an investigation. Richard, sensing the walls closing in, tried to play the victim. He called family members, claiming Emily was unstable, her memory unreliable. But the evidence spoke for itself. The stress of the investigation triggered more memories. Emily remembered the night of the crash. Richard had confronted her in the parking lot outside her apartment. He'd begged her to destroy the evidence, then threatened her when she refused. Emily had jumped in her car, desperate to escape. She remembered headlights in her rearview mirror, a car following her, the blinding glare of high beams. She realized the crash wasn't an accident. Someone had run her off the road. Emily told the police, who found paint from Richard's car on her bumper. The case shifted from embezzlement to attempted murder. Susan broke down, confessing that she'd known about Richard's crimes for years but had been too afraid to speak out. "I thought I was protecting you," she sobbed. Emily forgave her mother, but the betrayal stung. With the evidence mounting, the police arrested Richard. The story made headlines: local businessman arrested in embezzlement, attempted murder. The family was thrown into chaos. Some relatives blamed Emily, others rallied around her. Emily testified at Richard's trial, her memory now almost fully restored. She described the threats, the crash, and the years of lies. The jury found Richard guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to prison, his reputation destroyed. Emily's life slowly returned to normal. She moved to a new apartment, started therapy, and reconnected with friends. The scars remained, but she felt stronger for having faced the truth. Emily's relationship with her mother was strained, but they worked to rebuild trust. Susan apologized for her silence, and Emily forgave her. Tara remained a steadfast friend, helping Emily find joy in small things again. Emily became an advocate for victims of family crime, speaking at support groups and sharing her story. She encouraged others to trust their instincts and seek help, no matter how difficult. The family, though fractured, began to heal. Emily's courage inspired others to confront their own secrets. The darkness that had haunted them for years was finally dispelled. A year after the trial, Emily celebrated her birthday with friends and family. She felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years. The nightmares faded, replaced by dreams of hope and possibility. Emily started a new job, traveled, and embraced life with a newfound sense of freedom. She kept the notebook and the USB drive as reminders of her strength. The past no longer defined her. She visited the site of the crash, leaving flowers as a symbol of survival. "I'm still here," she whispered. "And I'm not afraid anymore." Emily's story became a beacon for others. She wrote a memoir, sharing her journey from amnesia to truth. The book helped countless people find the courage to face their own family secrets. Emily knew the road ahead would have challenges, but she was ready. She had survived the blackout, and emerged into the light. If you believe in the power of truth and the courage to face family secrets, share this story with someone who needs hope. What would you do if you woke up with a memory that could destroy your family? Let us know in the comments below.